You see, Sony, this is what we've been wanting. It should have been like this from the beginning, telling brand new spin off Spider Man stories about other Spider Men. Seems like a gold mine, right? If done well, that is. And how does this show manage to pull it off? Pretty well. Spider-Noir is a brand new spin-off Spider-Man project that isn't a movie starring Jared Leto, starring Nicolas Cage playing Spider-Man Noir, or as he's called in this, the Spider. And he's playing Ben Riley. He's not Peter Parker in this because I guess the name Peter Parker can't be used in TV shows now, especially for live-action Spider-Man projects. But nonetheless, he's Ben Riley the Spider. Ben Riley is a private investigator, and by day and then by night, he's the Spider, protecting New York City of the 1930s. And man, this show honestly gets very interesting very, very fast. Nicolas Cage's performance is very theatrical, very on par with of how Nicolas Cage acts. Nicolas Cage does his thing. He steals the show, whether he's Ben Riley or the Spider. Most of the time when he's Ben Riley by day. When he's just talking, he's talking like this. He's trying to get down to the court cases. He just wants to burn cigarettes down to his pinky just to feel something. He wants to punch bad guys and drink egg creams. And then he's going to do a fine day's work, see? Nicolas Cage's theatrical acting mixed in with a private investigator's life is an actually pretty good combo, and it's very entertaining and very funny. Like, Nicolas Cage is a funny ass dude, and Ben Riley's a funny PI who just has a mouth on him. It's okay, it's very entertaining to watch, very heartwarming, and I did like seeing him in this role. And yeah, every Spider-Man has to have a mouth on him. It's just how the character is. Well, depending which wall crawler we're dealing with right now, but Ben Riley the Spider is no different. He has a mouth on him. He kicks ass. He does his private investigating when he needs to do it. He's a very smart PI too. There's some cases he solves with ease, and you could just wonder how the fuck he would manage to do all this, and how he was able to piece all that together and get to the verdict. That was just very cool. And then mixed with Nicolas Cage's acting, it is made for a very fun time, see? But there is some things with the Spider that I wasn't really messing with too much. Like, the Spider is barely in this show for a show called Spider-Noir. I didn't like that. And even when he is the Spider, Ben Riley in this show has given up being the Spider for 5 years because of a tragedy in his life, him losing the woman he loves. So he just stops being the Spider and just wants to be Ben Riley 24/7. But when supervillains and crime bosses start coming back, it brings Ben Riley back into being the Spider. And this is the Spider-Man I've seen who was in live action who's gotten his ass beat the most. I did not like seeing that. He got beat up a little too much for my liking. Is that just an Amazon show thing where the main character has to get his ass kicked 24/7? I didn't like seeing that. I'm like, some scenes I'm like, fight back, dude. Use your powers. To the point where I'm convinced that this isn't really a Spider-Man show. It's a private investigator show set in the 1930s with some Spider stuff mixed in there. There's probably why we don't see the Spider that much anyway. I didn't like that much. I think if they do a season 2, they really have to have the Spider being a way more. When it comes to supervillains, alright, I can see why they can give the Spider a hard time. But when he's facing off common criminals and getting worked by them, no, dude, that's a problem. At least the show makes up for having pretty great swinging. This is movie quality swinging scenes in an Amazon show, and I did like that. So kudos on that. And also, this show is the way it's shot, whether it's in black and white or it's in color, it's shot magnificently. And yeah, I'll say it. When I first started watching this show, the first 2 episodes I watched in black and white, then immediately switched to color. Whether you watch it in black and white or color, I don't think it takes away the effect of how great the show is either way. If it's in black and white, you get that gritty noir feel. If you watch it in color, you get that modern, colorful, great feel as well. So you get serviced either way. But for me, I like me some color. So I needed some color. And this show's color really pops too. The 1930s aesthetic was nailed here. I really feel like this is a product of that time. And it's kind of hard to encapsulate that in 2026. And the fact they did it flawlessly, I'd give a major props for this, especially all the sets they made. But the sets some of the time look very cheap. Like, it's a TV show, but you want to make this feel a bit more grand for this being a show starring a Spider-Man variant. But other than that, everything is good here. I did enjoy it a lot. Let's get into the characters. Which characters does Ben Riley's the Spider come across in this series? We have his secretary, who is very, very likable and down to earth. We have Robbie Robertson, who is working for the Daily Bugle in this show, and he's a photographer. And yeah, had just really bring that classic Spider-Man flavor when you have a guy with a camera taking pictures of big crime scenes or big villain battles. I did like that, and I'm just glad we have the Daily Bugle back in the way it's supposed to be in this show. That was fantastic. We also have a lot of supervillains in this show. We have like 3 superpowered characters, whether it's Sandman, Tombstone, Electro, and even Molten Man. The guy running it all, the big bad, is Mad Eye Moody. Oh, what? I mean Silvermane. Spider-Man Noir deals with those more gangstered street-level villains, so yeah, Silvermane being into live-action anything is pretty great. But this version, he's not that super-powered or cunning version he is from the comics. He's just a mob boss, and that's fine. That's all he needs to be in this series, not gonna lie. But they do give him a more Kingpin-focused story, where he's just a person that everyone fears in that city. And it really just shows you why he's the way he is and why he strikes so much fear into everyone in New York City. And you know how rip this guy's gotta go. So throughout this whole season, that was a pretty engaging premise. Also, we got a Black Cat variant, Cat Hardy. Right when they said her name in this show, and I'm like, that's definitely Black Cat. If she's anything like Felicia is, she's gonna do some downright dirty things in this show and do have some people wrong. And yep, that's exactly what happened. But I think she did it the most messed up way in this show, if I'm being honest with you. Sandman, he's just a goon. He's a goon with that love story with Cat Hardy. They just want to run away together, but Sandman doesn't want to because his sand powers are just too much to handle. Doesn't want to hurt her. And then we move over to Lonnie Lincoln. He's just a dude who wants to get out of the slums, wants to do right by his mama. He fought in the war. He risked his life. And then when he comes back to New York, they treat him like a second-class citizen because he's black. That's messed up. So he just decides to use his powers to serve the most feared guy in New York City, Silvermane. Then we get Molten Man. He dies. He's dead. Never coming back. But hey, we get Electro in this show. Or Megawatt, as he's actually called, which is a stupid-ass name. Just call him Electro Noir for crying out loud. But anyways, what they do with him was actually pretty good. In some aspects, he's kind of even better than the Jamie Foxx Electro, if I'm being honest with you. Because he's just a downright show stealer. He is hilarious. He's just a shit talker who gets way in over his head and just does the most dastardly things. So that was hilarious to watch. They do some pretty cool effects with his electricity powers, and they make him actually pretty strong in this show. The effects they do for all the superpowers look pretty good, if you ask me, but the makeup does feel like very 1930s, so that's what they're going for, so good job on that. One thing for sure about this show's story, you have to let it get there. It's very slow-paced, narrative-driven show. The action does take a backseat a bit, if you ask me, but you have to let it cook. You have to let it get there and then grip you into the story emotionally, so when everything happens, the twists and turns will have a bigger effect. Also going to have you genuinely curious when they explore Ben Reilly's origins, how he got his powers in this series. And the answer is going to shock you, guaranteed. It shocked me. I didn't think Ben Reilly was a guy who served in the war and then got bit by a radioactive spider guy. That is nuts. That's kind of out of pocket. But back to Ben Reilly's character, I am just sick of the old grizzled superhero who just stops being the superhero they're supposed to be. And then when they get back into it, they just become a rusty old person who just can't use his powers the same way. Like, Ben Reilly uses his powers the same way, but he, like I said, he gets his ass beat too much, and I didn't like seeing that. Especially in the Spider-Man show. Don't spit on me like that. I don't like seeing that. Stop doing that, Hollywood. You peaked at Logan. Let's give it a rest now. But honestly, where this show ends off, I am interested in seeing a season 2, if they want to do that. I think the story was full of twists and turns. The PI stuff was very interesting to watch. The characters were all likable, and Nicolas Cage absolutely steals the show as Ben Reilly the Spider. So if they want to continue this series, I'd say go for it. Just put more Spider-Noir action into it. I just want to see that double life parallel more in the second season of Ben Reilly and the Spider. In the end, guys, Spider-Noir was a pretty decent watch. I enjoyed most of it. I had to let it get there for me to be even more interested in it. I don't like the old man Spider-Man story. I don't like seeing my guy get his groove back. He should have just already had it. We should have seen more Spider Man Noir in this show, but the story is so interesting and engaging, I just rolled with it. The effects were good, the sets were good, the acting was good, everyone did a great job. Nicolas Cage does his thing, and he is the man. Well, the sets were somewhat good. Some backgrounds straight up look like TVs in this, and I'm like, it could pull you out a bit. The effects and powers look really, really cool, except it might take you out of it when Spider-Noir gets his ass beat every fight he's in. If they can improve on these in Season 2, we'll have a much better season. We already took down Silvermane, what's next? Bring in Hammerhead for Season 2. I'd like that. What's your favorite Spider-Man Noir moment? Was it one of the games? Is it the Into the Spider-Verse version? Is it this version? Let me know down below. Spider-Noir gets a B.